This community is the kind of place that things are not the easiest. This is not meant to be a place where you grab a quick souvenir and go head on to the next place. This is meant to be a place where you dig in. My name is Adam Ducharme. I'm the tourism director for Leadville Twin Lakes. And I came to Leadville about 10 years ago and watched something called ski joring, where I watched a skier getting pulled down Main Street behind a horse. And I thought to myself, this place is insane. I need to live here.
I bought a second home up here in the early 80s because the Climax mine went into hibernation, and the employment levels dropped from something under 3,000 to about 50 or 60 people. The people who wanted to continue mining up here had to leave town, the professional miners, and the rest of the community had to adjust itself to the by then well-established recreational economy that had started in the 1960s with the establishment of some of the big ski resorts we have up here that line the I-70 corridor. Leadville had resisted that, not having its own ski area and having a very different culture from the resort industry. Since the town was clearly depressed, clearly economically depressed, but because of this long-term cohesion that had developed over the generations and decades before, the town really hung together pretty well.
We are a mining town, period. Leadville is a mining community. We still mine to this day. We are sitting in the Leadville Visitor Center that is a public-private partnership with Climax Mine. So Climax actually owns this building. Mining is part and parcel to a lot of the multi-generational ethos and culture that exists in this community. I mean, you have fifth-generation miners that are working up at Climax Mine.
We are here to enlighten and educate everybody about how mining impacts their daily lives. We study the past, the present, and the future of mining. My name is Meg Carr. I am the president and CEO of the National Mining Hall of Fame and Museum. So many people don't realize that without mining, there's no toothpaste, there's no solar power, there's no makeup, and there's no jewelry. We need mining.
I am the vice president of curatorial programs. So I'm in charge of collections on display and in storage. And I'd watch visitors come in to look at the pretty minerals. And isn't that one beautiful? Oh, and look, it's from Iowa, where we're from. And I realized that wasn't enough of the educational value I wanted to provide to the public. So this exhibit is arranged in certain sections where I talk about all different characteristics of how to identify a mineral. Next year, when we have the 250th anniversary of the United States, it coincides perfectly with the 150th anniversary of Colorado. So we'll be doing an exhibit for the anniversary that'll open in the mid-year of 2026. And it's going to focus on all the important early people of Leadville from about 1880 to 1900, looking at not just miners, but people that created schools, churches, stores. There's been a bookstore on Main Street in Leadville ever since Leadville was present.
They went kind of hog wild on silver mining, and it's estimated that somewhere around 260 million ounces of silver was mined from this area, from Leadville. And that was a massive deal for the US economy because at the time our currency was silver backed. So it wasn't until the silver was no longer the standard for backing our currency that this area was excruciatingly valuable. And for all intents and purposes, many people say that this area that you're in right now was the key to the Western expansion.
The Tabor Opera House was built in 1879 in just 100 days by a famous silver baron by the name of Horace Tabor. Horace Tabor made $1 million on his very first mine that he sold in this area, in Oro City actually, before it was Leadville. So he wanted to class up the town, so he built the finest opera house that the town had ever seen. And it only took him 100 days to build it without electricity or without the trains. He had all the finest shows that you could have at the time here. They say if it played New York, it played here. Houdini disappeared here. We still can't find him. John Philip Sousa and his Marine Band was here 4 times. And we also had Jack Dempsey Box here. Our big goal is that it will be a year-round multicultural, functional event space. All 30,000 feet will be used for different things, but we really want it to be where people come from miles and miles and different counties to see a show here. The Tabor Opera House is the cornerstone of Leadville. We are going to bring world-class entertainment here.
Yeah, my name's Rick Knopf. This is my wife, Beck. We bought this old Victorian inn.
12-bedroom, 12-bathroom house built in 1890. We bought it off the internet from Australia, sight unseen, had no idea what we were getting ourselves into.
We feel like caretakers of, a house that's seen so much history, so many different types of people come through these doors over the years. There's been probably poker games at that table. Who knows, maybe a shootout in the backyard. We have a tombstone back there. Who knows what the history of that is? There's just this connection to the history, and this house ties us to that. And we feel like just a small part of that history. I think the magic of this town, and something that's just really hard to put a finger on, but it's like, you've got other mountain communities. They've got mountains. They've got places to ski. They've got bike trails. There's a lot of mountain towns in Colorado that have all those same things. The sense of community here, and I think we're just that right size to where everyone does know everyone, for better or for worse. And, we're not, no one's working for big companies where they can't get time off work. Everyone's got these flexible arrangements. And so you can just, you can organize these camping trips, river trips, ski dates. What we do for fun here is we have a few hours in the afternoon. Hey, let's call our friends Carrie and Cooper, Sterling and Sarah, and let's see if they want to go ski for 2 hours or go on a bike ride. I mean, that's just what you do in a town like this. And I think having the people, I think maybe there was other towns in Colorado at some point in their growth that probably had that magic, but I think a lot of them have lost that. But here, everyone's part of it. You don't have to, you show up to town, the first person you meet is going to ask you to go on a bike ride, ask you if you want to go backcountry skiing that weekend. And that's just like what we do for fun. And so you just get absorbed into the community immediately.
Being a small business owner in Leadville, Lake County, is unique to really any other community in the country. I'm Nancy Bailey. I am the owner of Leadville Exchange Quality Consignment here in Leadville, Colorado. I started this shop in a small 600 square foot space around the corner about 2.5 years ago. And with the idea of Leadville, the ladies of Leadville really to have a place to consign their higher end clothing items and make a little money. And since opening about 2.5 years ago, we have consigned, AKA, in other words, repurposed and found new life for tens of thousands of items. It makes our inventory and our curated collection of things very unique to Leadville, which makes it special. Our currency is the connectivity that we have and the collaboration that we have amongst the business community, and it's evident this is not easy living, and it is 100% worth it. It attracts a certain kind of human being. It's a very gritty community, and that in turn creates a level of grit that you have to live there.
Hi, I'm Eric Johns. My family owns, runs, and operates the Silver Dollar Saloon in the highest incorporated city in the country, here in Leadville, Colorado. I've been around since 1879. We're the oldest continuously operated saloon in Colorado. This original bar back came from, made by Brunswick, came from St. Louis, came horse and carriage through Mosquito Pass. The mirrors are diamond dust. They're 3/4 inch thick. You can see the one on the right is a lot clearer than the other two. We had to replace that in '89, I believe. Somebody threw a shot glass down over a Buffalo Bills game and it bounced up and went through the glass. But the other two are irreplaceable. They're made of diamond dust, so if we turn the lights out and shine a flashlight, they sparkle. If you are coming through Leadville, chances are you're gonna end up at the Silver Dollar. It's just, that's how it happens.
My name is Jake Harrison. I'm one of the conductors here at the Leadville, Colorado and Southern Railroad. Quite a bit of history here as well, which is quite close to us as it mostly happened about 100 years ago. But we also do have a mine which you can take a tour through here in the summertime, which is the Matchless Mine. We have a fully functional train as far as having a concession car. We also have a grill. Definitely an old school train. Definitely get ready for the creaks and cracks for sure, but good time as we have every single year. And we look forward to seeing you out here on the railroad.
Grit really isn't a choice, it's a way of life. And that really does make the rewards sweeter.